Today, we profile Theodore Roosevelt, aka Teddy Roosevelt. Our 26th president, famous for his quotes such as, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." He created the national park system and built the Panama Canal, one of the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore. Theodore Roosevelt was born on October 27, 1858, in New York City. As a child, he was small and frequently ill, suffering from severe asthma that made daily life difficult. Instead of allowing his illness to define him, Roosevelt worked hard to improve his health. With encouragement from his father, he exercised regularly, lifted weights, and embraced an active lifestyle. This determination to overcome weakness became a defining trait throughout his life. Homeschooled, Roosevelt was a bright student and loved reading, especially books about history and nature. He attended Harvard University, where he excelled academically and developed an interest in politics and public service. After graduating, he entered politics at a young age and became a member of the New York State Assembly. Even early in his career, Roosevelt gained a reputation for fighting corruption and standing up for honesty in government. In 1884, Roosevelt experienced great personal tragedy when both his mother and his first wife died on the same day. Deeply affected, he temporarily left politics and moved to the Badlands of North Dakota, where he worked as a rancher. Life in the West helped him heal emotionally and strengthen his appreciation for the outdoors, which later influenced his conservation efforts. In 1886, Roosevelt married his childhood friend, Edith Kermit Carroll. The couple had 5 children: Theodore, Ted III, Kermit, Ethel, Archibald, and Quinton. They also raised Roosevelt's daughter from his first marriage, Alice. Roosevelt returned to public service and held several important positions, including New York City Police Commissioner and Assistant Secretary of the Navy. When the Spanish-American War began in 1898, Roosevelt resigned from his government post and helped form a volunteer cavalry unit known as the Rough Riders. He became famous for his bravery during the Battle of San Juan Hill, which made him a national hero. Because of his popularity, Roosevelt was elected governor of New York and later became vice president under President William McKinley. In 1901, tragedy struck again when President McKinley was assassinated. At just 42 years old, Theodore Roosevelt became the 26th and youngest president in U.S. history. As president, Roosevelt believed the government should play a strong role in regulating big businesses to protect ordinary citizens. He supported what he called the Square Deal, which focused on fairness for workers, consumers, and businesses. Roosevelt brought 44 antitrust suits to break up powerful monopolies, earning him the nickname Trust Buster. He also pushed for food and drug safety laws to protect the public. Roosevelt's greatest legacy is in the field of conservation. He set aside 150 national forests, the first 51 federal bird reservations, 5 national parks, the first 18 national monuments, the first 4 national game preserves, and the first 21 reclamation projects, all in all placing under federal protection nearly 230 million acres, a land area equivalent to that of all the East Coast states from Maine to Florida. During his presidency, he helped establish national parks, forests, and wildlife refuges, preserving millions of acres of land. His love for nature made him one of the most important environmental presidents in U.S. history. In foreign affairs, Roosevelt believed the United States should be strong but responsible. He famously said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick," meaning diplomacy should be backed by military strength. He played a key role in the construction of the Panama Canal and helped negotiate peace in the Russo-Japanese War, for which he won the Nobel Peace Prize. After leaving office in 1909, Roosevelt remained active, going on expeditions and continuing to influence politics. He even ran for president again in 1912 as a third-party candidate, showing his lifelong passion for leadership and reform. On October 14, 1912, while arriving at a campaign event in Milwaukee, Roosevelt was shot by saloon keeper John Schrank. The bullet lodged in Roosevelt's chest after penetrating his eyeglass case and passing through a 50-page folded copy of the speech entitled "Progressive Cause Greater Than Any Individual." Roosevelt assured the crowd he was all right. He declined to go to the hospital immediately and instead delivered a 90-minute speech with blood seeping into his shirt. Only afterwards did he accept medical attention. Probes and an X-ray showed the bullet lodged in Roosevelt's chest muscle, but did not penetrate the pleura. Doctors concluded it would be less dangerous to leave it than attempt to remove it. And Roosevelt carried the bullet in him for the rest of his life. Theodore Roosevelt died on January 6, 1919, but his legacy lives on. Here are some quotes by Theodore Roosevelt. "Speak softly and carry a big stick. Do what you can with what you have where you are. The only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. It is hard to fail, but it's worse never to have tried to succeed. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. To educate a person in the mind, but not in morals, is to educate a menace to society. Roosevelt read a remarkable number of books, often one a day, wrote more than 35 himself, and developed an extraordinary network of friends and contacts, which he maintained mostly by mail, writing well over 150,000 letters. Here is one such letter. November 24th, 1902. Personal. To the Secretary of the Navy. Colonel Forney of the Marines as an applicant for Haywood's place. How about it? Theodore Roosevelt. Historians credit Roosevelt for changing the nation's political system by placing the bully pulpit of the presidency at center stage and emphasizing character as much as issues. His accomplishments include trust-busting and conservationalism. He is a hero to liberals and progressives for his early proposals that foreshadow the modern welfare state, including federal taxation, labor reforms, and more direct democracy. Conservationists admire Roosevelt for prioritizing the environment and selflessness toward future generations. Conservatives and nationalists respect his commitment to law. Theodore Roosevelt was a leader defined by courage, energy, and a deep commitment to the nation. From overcoming childhood illness to reshaping the presidency, he left a lasting impact on American politics, conservation, and global leadership. His life remains an inspiring example of determination and service. That's the story of Theodore Roosevelt. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy these messages of inspiration, please like, subscribe, and share them with family and friends. And until we meet again, please remember, with God, anything is possible. Spohon.